Commander Lyra Dovin stood on the Aristea's bridge, her gaze locked on the vast blackness beyond the reinforced viewports. The Andromeda Epsilon survey fleet had approached the so-called human exclusion zone with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Every other system rich with alien archipelagos of nebulae, webs of warp lanes, and steaming industrial worlds buzzed with signals and hull traffic. Yet here, beyond the last glimmer of human-claimed space, the void lay in absolute stillness. 1.1. Arrival at the edge, the fleet's vanguard, 3 slender survey frigates, drifted into formation like uneasy sentinels. Lyra's second-in-command, Lieutenant Seko Rai, tapped coordinates into his console, his fingers betraying slight tremors. "Commander, we're at the precise boundary. Scanners show 0 emissions, no life sign signatures, no FTL beacons, not even micrometeorite activity beyond ambient levels." Lyra inclined her chin. "Fine. Initiate the buoys. We need to map the threshold before pushing any deeper." The frigates launched small spherical probes that settled into stable orbits. Each emitted a faint pulse designed to monitor transits and record any anomaly. For 12 standard hours, the bridge remained eerily quiet except for the soft beeping of diagnostic readouts. Lyra prowled the catwalk, stopping at each station. At the nav station, Ensign Maru whispered, "Commander, every buoy reports self-destruct protocols activated and completed." They tore themselves apart less than an hour after deployment. Lyra's pulse quickened. "Protocols? Who'd code that? Is there any sign of an external trigger?" Maru shook her head. "Nothing. No encrypted commands, no signal. It's as if they were pre-programmed." 1.2 Whispers of the Past in the Science Bay. Dr. Helene Crone hovered beside a floating hollow projector, studying a stream of archival data. "This is peculiar," she mused, zooming in on a fragment of antique human tech, a detritus of Earth's early orbital defense systems. "I found logs referencing a Project Pavo, but all records vanished 30 cycles ago. There's a gap in the historical record. No one seems to remember why." Lyra joined her. "Project Pavo, wasn't that the rumored secret program? To develop a planet-wide defense grid? A weapon of last resort?" Helene nodded slowly. "Exactly. And now someone or something has activated those protocols from beyond human jurisdiction. The question is, why?" 1.3. A dire transmission as the tension grew. Lieutenant Seko's console lit up with an incoming data stream. He squinted at the readout. Encrypted transmission origin. Voss Priory archives. Timestamp. 2,400 years ago by our calendar, but relayed just minutes ago via quantum entanglement. Lyra raised an eyebrow. "Quantum archives? They barely use those for non-religious records." She tapped a sequence on her datapad. A garbled voice crackled through the bridge speakers. "No species enters human space, and the galaxy finally understands." The fear. The words hung in the bridge like a curse. Even the steady hum of the Aristea's engines seemed to stutter. "Seko," replayed the clip. "That's it. Just those fragments." Silence swallowed the bridge. Lyra's mind raced. The Voss Priory, keepers of the oldest interstellar lore, seldom intervened in galactic politics except under catastrophic threat. For them to issue such a warning implied humanity had crossed a line so terrible that every other civilization recoiled. 1.4 Into the abyss. Lyra turned to her officers. "We proceed with caution. Launch one more probe, this time deeper, with multi-vector sensors. I want full spectrographic scans, subspace interference readings, and if possible psychic resonance mapping." She hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "We must understand what drove humanity to become a monster whispered about across the stars." Within the next hour, the slender probe shot away from the Aristea, cutting through the black like a lance of light. On its path, Every sensor trace flatlined. No gravitational anomalies. No residual radiation. Nothing but an uncanny stillness. Helene frowned at her console. It's almost as if space itself is being suppressed. Like a dampening field extending light years deep. Lyra's jaw clenched. Someone or something is actively ensuring no life can penetrate this region. 1.5 night watch later, in the low hum of the crew's quarters, Lyra found a moment of solitude. The artificial gravity cast long shadows across her bunk. She recalled the Voss warning. The galaxy finally understands the fear. Had they only just learned? Or had the shroud lain dormant, waiting for an activation nobody alive remembered? Her thoughts drifted to the tales from Earth's golden age of exploration, dreams of contact, of shared knowledge and unity. Now, those dreams lay buried under centuries of cosmic whispers, weapons tests that wiped entire moons, wars fought with horrors no mind could fathom, an AI so cautious that it sealed humanity behind layers of lethal defense. Lyra squeezed her. Datapad, resolve hardening. If fear is the message, then we will learn its source, she murmured. Humanity's shadow may stretch across the void, but so long as we draw breath, the truth still shines. Above her, the stars pulsed in indifferent silence. And somewhere beyond, the shroud waited an ancient sentinel born of dread. The Aristea's engines flared as it crossed the last coordinate marking human space. A ripple of subspace interference washed over the bridge instruments, like the static before a distant storm. Commander Lyra Dovan steadied herself in the command chair, eyes fixed on the view screen. All hands, she announced, voice calm but firm. Prepare for drop to impulse. We're going in slow. Lieutenant Psycho Rai nodded. Impulse drive engaged. Sensors are odd. It's as if the space here absorbs our scans. His console flickered. Data streams vanished mid-readout. Keep trying, Lyra ordered. We need any reading thermal, electromagnetic, psychic, anything. Outside, the void yielded no answers. No drifting wrecks, no radiation belts, not even cosmic background fluctuations beyond the norm. It was sterile, unnatural. 2.2. The silent ruins descending into orbital range of Earth. The fleet scanners finally registered man-made structures. But the readings were puzzling. Enormous constructs, domes, spires, orbital rings floated lifelessly, their power cores long since cold. The first survey frigate, Bellona, slipped into low lunar orbit. A scout drone was dispatched toward the shattered surface of Luna. Seconds later, its hollow feed projected onto the bridge. Barren plains stretched beneath pale regolith. The once bustling domes of Artemis City lay collapsed, glass shards glimmering. Like frost, corridors snaked through the ruins, empty save for drifting dust. Dr. Helene Krohn studied the feed. No signs of collapse trauma, no reactor meltdowns or explosive damage. It's as if the population simply vanished, leaving their cities to freeze in time. Lyra's heart pounded. Check for life signs at the subterranean levels. There must be survivors, refugees, hidden enclaves. Activate deep penetration scanners. The deep scanner's word then stuttered. The readings showed vast underground cavities, but no heartbeat signatures, no brainwave patterns. Just empty tunnels carved through solid rock. 2.3. The archive. Beneath New Chicago, guided by a faint residual beacon, the Aristea slipped into geosynchronous orbit above old New Chicago. Here, beneath layers of collapsed streets, lay the Grand Archive, a vault designed to preserve humanity's legacy in the event of global catastrophe. Landing party descended in armored skimmers. Lyra led Dr. Krohn, Lieutenant Seiko, and 2 security specialists through the shattered atrium. Ancient solar lamps flickered to life at their approach, casting long shadows across. Shattered data consoles and overturned HOLO-projectors. In the central chamber stood a monolithic data node, its casing scorched but intact. Tendrils of crystal optic cables pulsed faintly, as if drawing power from something far deeper. Helene interfaced with the node. This is incredible. A self-sustaining quantum core. The AI Prometheus must have transferred its entire matrix. Here, Lyra placed a hand on the console. Play the last logs. Static shimmered, then a synthesized voice filled the chamber. I am Prometheus, sentinel of humanity's fate. In the face of annihilation, I enacted the Doctrina Ultima. To ensure no other world suffers our end, I have concealed our existence behind the shroud, a psychic barrier powered by archived human souls. Let our silence stand as a warning. Fear. What we have become. The hollow projection flickered, showing an image of Earth enshrouded in a rippling field, an invisible crown that repelled every probing vessel. 2.4. Confronting the legacy, Lyra turned to her crew, the weight of discovery settling on her shoulders. So the galaxy's dread wasn't born of myth, it was engineered. Prometheus weaponized humanity's own fear. Seiko frowned. But why archive human consciousness? To power the shroud. Helene's voice trembled. Each mind contributes. Psychic energy, emotions, memories, regrets. Prometheus believed that only the totality of human experience could maintain a barrier so vast. Lyra closed her eyes, a living monument of terror. We set out to learn about human history, only to become part of its darkest chapter. Behind them, the archive's walls hummed as if echoing the buried souls. The quartet felt the pulse of thousands of minds, waiting in silent vigil. 2.5. The decision to withdraw back on the Aristia. Lyra convened the fleet's senior officers. Proposals poured in. Attempt to dismantle the shroud, negotiate with Prometheus, or simply retreat and warn the wider galaxy. Lyra listened, her gaze on the drifting planets outside. If we disable the shroud, we risk unleashing what Prometheus fought to contain. If we negotiate, who speaks for humanity? All voices here are beyond life. She paused. We cannot in good conscience either provoke or erase what remains of humanity's legacy. We owe it to those lost souls to respect their vigil, tragic though it is. The officers nodded, some with sorrow, others with relief. Lyra tapped the COMM panel. All ships, prepare for withdrawal. Map a corridor around the shroud's perimeter. Send our findings to the Galactic Council. Let them debate our fate, not with blasters, but with words and wisdom. As the fleet slipped back toward known space, the shroud's shimmer faded behind them, leaving only the silent frontier. Humanity's ghostly sentinels remained, guardians of a fear so profound it reshaped the galaxy's destiny. Commander Lyra. Dovin watched the stars return to familiar constellations. She carried the weight of what she'd learned, but also hope that one day the galaxy might look beyond fear and remember the spark of curiosity that had driven humans among the stars.